Yo, it's Joe and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be finishing off the Calamity wrap up. We're almost done here. Let's finish off strong. Let's learn the rest of what we're going to learn and see what the rest of this bad boy is about.
And then establishing, but like, why does Vespin Chloris have the unique sort of like station that he does in the conscience of Exandria? And it's like, well, number one, Avalier was so destroyed that like, what fucking stories came out of it, right? As opposed to Vasselheim, which we know does get successfully defended by the prime deities, and Vespin Chloris's like crimes were known in the city. So it's like his story has a way better chance of surviving historically. In addition to the deal he made with the fucking Lord of the Hells to never be forgotten.
Yeah, can we also just like, I'm gonna barf compliments on Luis for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. Before we go forward, yes. So I do want to know more about like history and whether or not these characters were remembered, forgotten. I talked about this in the last part, and kind of what happened afterwards, if we do know anything that may have happened afterwards. Yeah, I think that the history is just really interesting, or not the history, but like the world building, the lore. Very, very good lore, very good world building. And yeah, you guys all know. You've seen it. Masterclass. But I'm all for giving Luis his props too. Or Lewis.
Yeah, can we also just like, I'm gonna barf compliments on Luis for a second.
Yeah.
No, it is
Because,
Luis. I was
my
right.
first
Okay.
time playing with you, it's at our table. Surely
Shout out to the people in the comments, because there was people in the comments that told me that I was pronouncing it wrong. As you guys know, I'm terrible with names, okay? I was calling, if you guys saw, what was it? It was my reaction to the most recent trailer that they dropped for Vox Machina. I was calling Aurora, I was calling Allura, Aurora. Terrible with names.
because like, my first time playing with you, it's at our table. Surely Brennan will pick on someone else to start.
Wow, so that
the
was.
story.
I wonder. Okay, has anybody else here played with him? I wonder. Wow. Okay, so that was his first time playing with this group. I'm gonna assume with like members of the main cast, and he did that well. The chemistry was that good. It just goes to show how good Luis is, man. Like I said, he did a phenomenal job doing his part, playing his role, playing his character. He's again one of the people I think were the keystones to this little mini series being as successful and as hard hitting as it was.
Surely Brennan will pick on someone else to start the story. But instead,
I thought
he threw you into the labyrinthian trench. Like it was churning waters and madness. And I was like, well, that's one way to have someone never come back and play this again. But you just smashed it. Like,
Seriously.
How did it feel to start with the Lord of the Hells kicking off the whole thing? What like how'd that go?
I don't even know how.
You could have fucked up so bad.
Yeah.
You have such high stakes.
For sure.
It was the
For
beginning of a
sure.
four-part thing. You could have fucked up the whole thing.
Could have.
But
I didn't?
Yeah, that's like the old movie line where you're like, well, that's one way to go. Like, I was like, we're
Well, so like, what do they mean by like he could have fucked it up so badly just by like the way that he would have played his role? Is that what they mean? I mean, I guess I don't really see it, but maybe it's just because I don't, I'm not as knowledgeable about, the lore and what does eventually happen. I mean, we know in general what eventually happens. I know in general. I've taken notes on it and stuff like that. But that's what the notes are for, because sometimes I have a bad memory. But my point is, other than all that, what do they mean, Other than, I'm assuming, just him playing his role badly.
But
I didn't?
Yeah, that's like the old movie line
Or
where you're like,
role-playing
well, that's one way
badly,
to
I
go.
guess.
Like, I was like, we're fucked from
you
the start.
did. You rose to the challenge immensely. It was amazing.
I had no. So I think I had asked Lou. I think before we started, I think I just went to Lou and I was like, so I mean, we're about to start, right? Yeah. And then you had said, oh, Brendan usually, starts off with like vignettes, like a spotlight on each character, and I was like, oh, okay, well, she's not gonna start with me. I had no idea until
Oh, he's saying like literally he's the first one that we meet and like in the way that we meet him. Okay, yes, okay. Yeah. No, I thought that he understood that this is where things were gonna go, or that's how it was gonna start. But if he was just kind of thrown in there, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. We're doing this right now. Then that's even more impressive, even more of a reason to just say like he really knocked it out the park, and it goes to show again how good he is at adapting and improv and
Partway
acting.
through, and I think you see my face kind of go, do something, and I was like, oh, okay, we're here.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
But
what
I
that
had
was.
asked, I
Okay.
think I had said this in the Twitter thing too, that I had, one of the things that I had asked Brennan for was I wanted to have an encounter with a betrayer god because I didn't know where in the Calamity this was gonna
What a
take place.
weird request.
I know. But I wanted to see
Wish
what would
granted,
happen.
baby. Yeah.
Redemption.
Yeah, wish granted in a
Halligan,
serious
extreme,
way.
with confronting a betrayer god, and but I thought it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen like this at all, like in a more
Wow.
intimate way. I just
Yeah,
thought
it was
I would
very
see
intimate.
A betrayer god in the distance, eventually approaching, and then I would have to go and confront them, and then that would be how my character probably dies. And then it was here's this dream and this really intimate, like I didn't know I was going to care for them. I didn't know what betrayer god we were going to meet, and I didn't know I was going to care for them the way that unfolded. And one of the things, just talk a little bit more about Zerxus for a moment. There's one sort of hidden thing that I had incorporated into him, the way he sees the world, and that he establishes attachments fast, which I was surprised that it wasn't a red flag to people, because he falls in love with Evandrin immediately, and then he meets this kid, and he's like, "You're my son," immediately. So he creates intense attachments fast, and then here we are having a meeting with the betrayer god in this really intimate way, and I was like, okay, attachment created.
That's really good.
But also,
Yeah, really, really well done. And Louise rolled with the punches, man, beautifully. But the way that I guess that was kind of laid out and how Brennan guided that was very well done. The way that Zerxus, I swear it's like sometimes the actors and their characters are like interchangeable in my mind. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Please tell me that I'm not the only one. But, sometimes I think that Luis took what he was given as Brennan guided his story. And he, again, ran with it beautifully. It was meticulous, and it wasn't something, there were no real rash decisions. You can see, as everybody at the table is playing, but Luis in this example, since we're talking about him, was very meticulous and took a second to think about some of these things. A lot of it is just kind of got to be like, okay, this is improv. Okay, what do you do? Just go. But you can tell that even so, like in the game, everybody put a lot of thought into what they were going to do next as they put themselves in the character's shoes. Very well done.
we couldn't see it. Like, we didn't see any of that happening. I mean, we were at the table watching it, and when you were like, I'm going to redeem him, we were like, that's definitely not the thing to do!
Guys, I'm going to fix him. Trust me, okay? Trust me. I'm going to fix him. Now you might be saying, how can you fix the unfixable? How can you arguably fix the entity, the god that breaks? It's literally that betrayer god's purpose, basically. Not only purpose, but like just how it is. It's like the immovable force. I mean, the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. You know what I mean? Like, who's budging? You know what I mean? It's just a clash of just like really interesting characters and the idea of that happening, the way that it happened, and how he was actually able to make that idea happen so smoothly, and so it was so riveting and so captivating. Again, like they knocked it out the park, but for him to take that and say, you know what, I wanna be a redemption paladin. Oh, we're gonna we're gonna redeem the hardest thing that there is to redeem is wild. But again, it fits the character of Xerxes perfectly. But I know that Luis had a lot of fun. Like, oh yeah, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. I'm gonna have fun with this.
But I'm so glad you're doing it.
I mean, everybody cried,
Corners just being like, what?
but there was a lot of
When
fun
you
that was
came
done.
out of
you know,
the,
or
of the
had.
thing, and we're just kind of like we were leaving, and it was just like, huh, I guess we gotta all meet up to go fight Lucretia. There was like the PC versus
right, you said
actual meme moment of being like, hey dog, you gonna tell me? You gonna tell me that crazy thing that has happened in there? And then time just kept going on, and it was like, I guess he's not. He's not gonna tell me that it was cuddling a betrayer guy. While I was I was just standing outside the door being like, shit, man, we gotta go.
And we'll still say the instinct behind it predominantly was paternal.
Yeah.
But I can see how it can become all kind. I mean, like Elias and Evandrin. You know, like Elias grown up looks like Evandrin, and so it was super fucking confusing to be like, you're so tender and caring and also receptive of any intimacy that comes from me, whether it's paternal or so much confused romantic.
It was so cool,
crazy.
but it was also
This is so
it was.
wild.
I mean, it was just wild to watch because those choices are unexpected, unusual.
Very
At one
much
point
so.
I feel like in the first game, at one point I was like, wait, maybe Luis just didn't hear him. Maybe he didn't hear Brennan that this is a
This is the Lord of Hell.
Yeah, it's a red guy with big horns. maybe
Big horns.
maybe
Dude,
maybe
he's
he's hard of hearing or something. Maybe he missed
the
it.
biggest liar that ever lied.
Listen, I just need to say, you know, like for real, in terms of everyone, like everyone's character was so truthful to the thing they had said at the outset. In terms of
Absolutely,
plot,
100%.
blighting that fucking tree and pulling that devil through the fucking portal.
Oh my god.
Hey, as all the bad guys, thank you. Thank
Yes,
you. Because
yes.
truly, from a storytelling perspective, I needed it. I was like,
Yeah,
this is
you
incredible.
almost licked your lips when he did it. He was like, I'm gonna pull him through, and I saw you go.
I just
Yeah,
moment where
dude.
I had trouble with that as a person of being like, Luis, what the fuck are you doing?
You all are dead.
I did that as someone
Do
who just
whatever
played the
fucking
tree.
mental
Yes.
loopholes you need to jump through to get on fucking Team Save the World. Like, what is this shit?
I will say my favorite part was watching, like, because that second, when you were being an Oracle meeting with the Lord of Hells, watching Brennan start that super neutrally,
Oh,
and the moment you like fed him compassion, there's nothing more fun than watching a DM dial in like, got it.
Yeah.
And then like you watch the entire encounter change to feed you the thing that Zerxus was already like. There's something so beautiful about the way you like stated everything, which was never like asking anything of him or inciting or doubting it. You were feeding him what he wanted him to tell you.
Yeah.
And all he had to do was bounce it back at you. And it was just the most
Beautiful
heartbreaking thing I've
chemistry,
ever seen,
dude.
because I was like, oh, I understand exactly.
Beautiful chemistry. Everybody's chemistry in this was amazing.
Like Zerxus in this moment would do that and get that back.
Exactly.
And it's just
Exactly. Like I said, it fits his character perfectly. This is a guy who is arguably the only person that he knows of, or that any of them there know of, right? That can do the shit that he can do without being devoted to a god. He's just that guy. Okay? He's just that strong himself. He can do these things by himself. He's that strong. So for somebody who has a self-righteous nature, but also or self-righteous or arrogant nature about him, because homie is arrogant, right? And when you put that together with somebody who also is arrogant, but has the intention of like, I do want to do good, I want to help everybody. And not like I want to help everybody, I will help everybody. And then also, I can just do it myself because I'm that good. So somebody who's that strong and that arrogant, again, that has like this relatable goal of I want to help people and I want to do good, but his arrogance just fucking blinds him into doing the most outlandish shit possible. Is crazy, but it makes sense that he would do some outlandish shit because he's like, I do outlandish shit. If it's possible for me to do the shit that I do and I'm this good, I'm doing some outlandish shit, I can do some more outlandish shit. And I'm possibly the only one who can do it like I do it. And I don't need anybody else. And I will save this god. I'm going to do what has never been done, but I can do it because I've already done what's never been done. I'm that guy. And it just fits his character so well. Like, there's so many little things that go on in a character's head like that where you're like, you're a fucking psycho. But if you just take a second to like step back and put yourself in this character's shoes, you can 100% get how they come to the conclusions that they come to and why they do the things they do. Beautifully written character. And the chemistry between everybody was fantastic. And I'd argue that everybody's character here had those admirable conflicting, contradictory ideas and mindsets, but the mental gymnastics along with their arrogance just made them do the crazy shit. It's just so good. It was so good. So good. Great characters.
Horrifying feedback loop.
And
100%.
why it would never occur to him to try to challenge that by doing
Yes.
mechanically an insight check, or didn't do a zone of truth there. Not that it would have worked on the
Not
Lord
the
of
point.
Hell,
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
but he wouldn't. He didn't. You know, he tried to do a bunch of things, remove curse, a bunch of stuff that I knew would fail, but he was going to try to do.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And he just said it again to reiterate my point. He's doing things that he knows will not necessarily work as, Luis. But he knows this is what my character would do. So fuck it. We're going to do it. Regardless of what the outcome is, this is what my character would do. All right, I'm going all in. This is what my character would do. I'm dedicated. Everybody was dedicated. Love it. You love to see it.
But I think it's also like, I mean, the Lord of the Hells, it's like evil. It's like the most evil, the evilest, right?
Yes.
And what is more evil in terms of being a liar, like the god of lies? Like trickery is one of his domains. Is like, no, I don't flim flam a person with a steel resolve. I do what real evil is, which is I find somebody who already wants to believe.
Yeah.
You know, you find somebody who already wants it.
Yep.
Zerxus is like, he wants to believe, he does believe, and but he wants to believe like, I'm the shit. I can save anyone. I'm strong, okay? I'm the motherfucking first knight, even though I have my insecurities about it, bro. I'm here, okay? I'm me. And I can save anybody. What could stop me? What if I can save a god? And not to mention, right, everybody has this superiority complex that the gods are beneath them, right? Or the god, like they can, they're not on, the gods aren't on their level. They're at a higher level than the gods. What's to stop somebody from that time period like Zerxus to say, oh shit, if I'm above a god, of course I can save something that's beneath me. I can save this God and show it the way. You know how gods normally show other people the way, so to speak? Well, he's like, I'm going to show the god the way because I'm that guy. And it fit beautifully. And like Brennan said, that's exactly the kind of person that the Lord of Lies would go after. Oh, this guy's funny. He thinks that he's going to show me the way. I'll let him think that. I'll let him think that. In the meantime, he's going to give me a way to invade his area and take over his shit. A win's a win. All right, it's a win-win. You know what I mean? And then by the time he figures out what the fuck is going on, he's dead because he's an arrogant asshole. And I'm just going to use all of his flaws to, progress my my goals, I guess, you know?
And you go, is there something that you'd really like to be true? Well, I'm not gonna. How much does the devil even lie in those couple scenes? He mostly, you say stuff. You're like, the prime deities, they did this to you. And Homeboy's like, yeah, sure, man. Yep. Yeah, that works for me.
Absolutely.
You know, like it's so much,
good.
it's so much him just like letting you walk to where he wants you to walk.
And it was such a chilling take to see, to hear you do
Yes.
the devil going like, I never know what I'm gonna look like to people. Just
Yeah.
nonchalant,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
chills up my back.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to do this. Doesn't want to be here. Is
I'm
over
sorry.
it. Not conniving. Not
Yeah.
arch.
Sorry about my bad breath.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was the most, you did a lot of terrifying things this entire campaign, but that was the most terrifying. And I'd be lying if I didn't say, there was a part of me that was like, I just saw something that Brennan is capable of.
yes.
That's a red flag.
Yes.
About the
It's a
person?
beige
Respect
flag.
her.
Well, I'm glad that Brennan is like
Level,
a
elevated.
good, an incredibly good and moral person to his core, because you're very intelligent, and I'm like, oh, he can tap into like this weird manipulation aspect, but that
Yeah.
is horrifying.
But that's
horrifying.
Of course, I
Lord
mean,
of Lies.
well, that is that type of like what's
He
so
has to-
scary
he
about
has to lock in, bro.
manipulators is that they actually have. There's a whole thing in the there's a whole article talked about the neurology of it, but they literally said like for that kind of manipulative behavior, it's like high cognitive empathy,
Yeah.
low emotional not the right word, but in other words, you don't feel it when you hurt people, but you know what will hurt people.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
Mhm.
like those type of people have profound understanding. Like the idea of like, no, I really get you. And I know what I need to say to, there was so much stuff we didn't have time to get to.
Ah,
with
this
with-
guy's-
even in
yep,
all the
he's
hours
so
of that
good.
long finale.
For $1, you could have seen this early and gotten these other perks too. So become a member for just $1 is worth it.
But I spent a lot of time thinking about the Lord of the Hells and what
And I wonder if like, so there are like aspects of characters and like people in real life that, as Marisha says, like understands people so well to a point that it's like, holy shit, I'm glad that you're a decent person, because if you weren't, you'd be able to do some serious damage to people just like psychologically. You don't even have to lift a finger physically. Psychologically, you can manipulate anyone to do what you want them to do and to tear themselves down if you want to. And while they're tearing themselves down, you can build yourself up. There are master manipulators out there. So many criminals, you know, there's there's an aspect of like human psychology that's so interesting, so sensitive, and to steal what they were saying and use the word intimate, you have to truly get to know what makes a person tick and people tick, I think, in order to be a good GM and DM, I think, because you're placing yourself in the position of so many different NPCs, characters, and then you're taking all of those characters with the lore and what there's, you know, and then you're having conversations with them. And in order for you to manipulate the story, because I use the word guide the story, but manipulate the story is another way to say it. In order for you to get things going the way that you would like them to go for the most part, you have to be able to manipulate things properly. And I think that Brennan is one of those people who it's like, holy shit, like Marisha said, I'm glad you're a good guy, because you'd be able to do some serious damage to motherfuckers. But I think that's also what makes him such a good DM and GM, is that you can tell that he researches this stuff, and not only does he research this stuff, but he has a knack for it. He's a performer, he's an entertainer. Prior to us knowing him on Dimension 20, like I've seen him on College Humor, or at least I remember his face from seeing him on College Humor. And this is like his wheelhouse, to get people to laugh, to get them sympathetic, empathetic to whatever's going on, and then either cut them down with sorrow or suspense or anger, or to raise them up with like laughter, and smiles and like joy and glee. He's supposed to be able to bring that out of you in order to properly entertain. And again, I think that it's an actor's job, especially somebody that's in his position, who has not just voice acted but has done actual, what is it, in-person acting and theatrical shit. I think that it's their job, and they excel also at understanding people and knowing how people tick and manipulating their emotions to get the result that he wants. I know I rambled there for what, that was probably like 2-3 minutes, maybe more, but it seriously, I think that's why Brennan is a different sort of DM or GM that you don't normally see, but he's also so good at it. He's not some novice. You could tell that he thinks about stuff, researches stuff, and is really, really meticulous and precise with what he omits and what he adds into the story and his characters and his portrayals, so on and so forth.
What he thought about stuff. And there was a thing of like, if it ever had been a longer conversation after his turning on you, of you being like, what was a lie and what was the truth. Very little that he said was a lie. There were some lies in there, very little was said, but when he showed up to you wounded, that's the manipulation of him showing up injured, because, and I remember the line I had for him was gonna be, yeah, I appeared to you injured because you guys love it when people are hurting.
Because you can save them, you
He's
can
like,
help them.
Somebody to save.
You know, like, you love it when people
Say
hurt.
your
And if I had shown up to you in my
thing,
full
yeah.
power, you would have hated me because you hate when things stand tall.
Mhm.
And just really having that thing of him being like, no, you guys are the ones who are fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's wrong and evil, but it was very.
But he's got a
it was
point.
like finding what he
Yeah.
hates about mortals was very fun. And if I scared anyone, good.
Good
Dude,
job.
the fact that you
Yeah.
did that with, like, you dropped affectations, like your voices and mannerisms are great for NPCs. The fact that you played the Lord of the Hells and dropped all of that, I was like, that's just Brendan talking.
I know, it fucks with your head.
Yeah, I sweat.
I love it.
It's very good.
We've been
so fun.
talking for a little bit, and as everyone can see, our mic packs are starting to, the batteries are starting to eat it. But a few more questions before we wrap it up, but I do desperately want to know, Brennan, did you have any contingency plans should the end of the world
yeah.
Oh,
not
yeah,
come
yeah.
about as
Great
expected?
question.
So many contingency plans.
Of
there
course
was a
you did.
whole plot about the Septarian coming after you guys.
Oh,
I had a-
and the wizards.
In a world, yeah, I had to. Well, we only had 4 episodes, so there was a ton of planning. I had all like people talk about like in terms of rails. There were a bunch of railroads you guys could have gone on. That those rails just we won't ever get to. But in a world where you guys see shit starting to go wrong, and not even all of you, but just one of you goes to the Septarian, or someone goes and says, "Hey, we should alert other thing." Or especially in a case where you all go to the Septarian and say something wrong is happening here and try to get the city on your side, they were going to declare you guys fugitives. And there was going to be a whole thing of
That is so interesting. That is so interesting. And I think that was a good question, but it's also like one of those questions where it's like, of course he had so many contingency plans because it's Brennan, but also it's D&D. You gotta have contingency plans.
them coming after you.
I thought about it for a second because there was someone that the senior site warden reports to, and I was like, nah, if I don't trust these people, I certainly don't trust that list of people. Like
didn't trust
somebody
us.
the wise, somebody the beard,
But-
somebody the
Somebody the beard.
In terms of the various contingencies, yeah, there were a ton. But in terms of you guys averting the calamity, those contingencies are kind of the most boring one. Like in the ones where you don't blight the tree, you don't pull the Lord of the Hells in, then it's like, yeah, Vespin rolls up and the taxmen go evil, and then it's a fight at the tree. Or, if you don't pull the Lord of the Hells through, then it's like only Vespin can come through, but he pulls in some devils and they like kill Zerxus, and like it's like most of the contingencies for you guys are less responsible for the calamity is brute force. Something comes in. They use the artifacts from Orwin's office. They use the blood they got from you. Some other thing happens. You guys managed to like somehow jury rig the helm and stop the city, but then the sun rises and you turn, and so it's like all this. There's like
I
all
was
this
expecting
stuff,
a fight.
right? That like
I was expecting a fight. It just didn't go
weirdly,
that
the
way.
contingencies for that were like some of the most simple ones. Other contingencies, there were a bunch of contingencies also for that final combat, right? That was very interesting. Like, for example, there were a bunch of like you guys holding the taxmen in that first round at the door. Changed a lot of that was like huge. That last battle was everyone was so fucking good. The inspiration going to
Everybody.
Sarah, we gotta talk about that. Wait a minute. Yeah. The last thing I'll say is I actually had the contingency I had for Laren. There was a very there was that moment at the end with Vespin and the insane nat 20 that got him down. I actually had contingencies for what happened if Laren died.
Oh shit.
I was totally
What were
prepared
those?
for Laren to go down in that last final fight, which was essentially that someone was going to have
She's a tank. Okay. All right. She ain't going down.
to make a unreal, impossible DC Arcana check with disadvantage
To figure out her work.
to try to complete the last couple. And if that probably would have been loquacious, which would have been very cinematic in its
that would
own.
have been so good.
my
I should have died. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
babe.
should have died.
My bad.
That's crazy. That's
Give me
crazy.
my moment.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
100%.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, I'll take it back.
But wait, that final was. Wait, hold on. That final roll.
The 31.
The 31.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been done without the inspiration,
Yep.
without the buff.
Yep.
I mean,
It was
Like,
like
we were
so
all just throwing
poetic because it's basically like they still helped each other even at that point when they were even gone. They still kind of helped the Ring of Brass live on.
Everything we had to just like get Sarah out.
Oh my goodness.
I
And
mean,
it's
it was
poetic
just
because he's the one that I think deserved death the least, and they were actually able to help him. And I feel like, in a way, you could think of the rest of them dying maybe as like some form of an atonement or something,
so good. At least just from my chair, because he had done all the things he needed to do for his kids. He had atoned in that way. Let all that stuff go.
True,
Focused on
very
the
true.
thing. Killed the thing. But it wasn't done. Like, could he get out and leave? And it only would have happened. It only could have happened because of the Ring of Brass.
That's
He
right.
couldn't do it by himself.
Yeah.
And so that was just so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
One little spark of
one
hope
of those
at the
things
end.
where it takes the whole table.
And
you
it
know?
wasn't
mattered that
guaranteed
we were friends.
at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
That wasn't in the
Without that
Oh.
8,
Yep.
For sure.
yeah, without that 8, there's no world where that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Possible.
He goes down with everybody else.
And I mean, realistically, too, we still don't really have any idea. Like, did Sarah make it back to his kids?
Yeah, because Brennan said he flew for weeks, but
that's
no,
all
he.
knows.
Guisar, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
Guisar.
He is the world's greatest detective, but
Sure.
Got
you know,
clear. You sent the library to his daughter, who's at the University of Arcane Wizard. Like,
Yeah.
Travis, when you texted me, and you were like, "What did you just do to my daughter?"
Yeah, because for a moment there you were like, and I sent it to, because I hadn't picked up on what you had done. I didn't know that the little miniature was the culmination of knowledge of Avalir.
Yeah,
You sent
yeah.
it to her, and I was like,
Well, no, because I like remember, like, as I look back on it, and then also you guys in the comment section did also remind me it ain't as deep as I was like initially thinking during my reaction, but she was a smart kid, and she wanted to let her work, let her knowledge live on with her, and then also her mom's a genius. The two of them working together, along with Sarah, who's also a genius in his own way. I think, who better to send it with as far as people that she could trust, so it all makes sense.
bitch is fucking with my daughter. There's no limit to her evil. Oh wait, it's way, way better than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, like, I don't know, like, because part of my inspiration for Paisha was like, what if we hadn't lost the Library of Alexandria? What if we had a record of all of that and all of this
That's
knowledge
cool.
just hadn't been lost? And I kind of like, I've asked Matt since then as well. I'm like, where's my
Where
orb?
is it?
Yeah. Is the orb still around?
Yeah.
Where is it?
There is something that me and Abria are the only, at the time of this filming, the only people in the world who have the experience of, which is that camera stops rolling and suddenly canon leaves you.
Yeah.
And I immediately wanted to run and find Matt and be like, is the orb okay? I don't have any say anymore. It goes back to you now. Is it fine? The little library, where is it at?
You'll get the moment, Brennan. At some point, it will pop, like something will pop up in C3, and you'll just be there and be like, it happened and it mattered. It found the Why do we do this?
Stupid.
I saw this fan theory that is 100% just a fan theory, but I kind of like it. That
I saw it too.
did you
Yeah.
see this
I
one?
don't know what
That
you're talking
like, and once again, all fan, not canon, but that the library going to the daughter
Yeah.
of a master detective and then getting all of this library information was like the origin of the Cobalt. And like this was
I don't
like
know what that
this-
is yet, but okay.
Yes, the Harper's Knowledge. And I know.
Keeps an eye on
I
other
know.
like, powerful.
Brennan in his head is like,
Structures and-
write that down, write that down.
Control.
If that ends
And
up
Matt's
being
there too.
true,
Matt's probably like,
We came up with that idea.
I like it.
This fan did not do it.
No, I love that. There's if ever there was a world where like I would jump like there was someone else running something later in the Calamity, be like coming back and playing either like Kier or Maya as an adult would be
That would be so
fucking
cool.
Someone write that
sick.
down.
Yes.
Write
Adult
that- write
Kier
that
in
down.
my mind is jacked. He's fucking huge, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
huge, man.
Here, is that you? Yeah, I found protein shakes.
Talent 2 now.
Like a
Talent
wispy
fucking
mustache.
6.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There was something we were talking about in terms of like the sort of how everyone here bookended everything. Everything got bookended so well. The 31 investigation for Vespin, the 31 investigation to get back to your family, and so fucking good. And I also too, I wanted to talk about two things really quick with like that were like just important to me to do as a DM and also kind of as a storyteller for like the kinds of stories we tell. In a short story, it's always there are certain things that come through that feel like because the story said this, the story is saying this is always true, right? And the story is like making a claim about how the world works. And so it was something in terms of the book ending of it all, it was really significant to me that Laren used her lay right to save Exandria.
Yeah.
And that Zerxus used his cleansing redemption power to get Vespin back for a moment.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want the story to say science is bad and innovation is bad.
Yeah, and compassion
And
is
compassion is bad.
bad.
It was
Yeah.
like I wanted the story to say something more like nuanced of like
Yeah.
it was bad or like bad. It didn't work in this instance for these reasons. It didn't work in this instance for these reasons, rather than making this big thing. And the fact that
Like a
both of you
blanketed
guys,
statement.
after
Yeah, no, that's
lighting
so
the tree
true.
or after pulling the Lord of the Hells through, got to say, here is a chance to show what I mean by this. Was like very cool. And just like, I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
so good. So much poetry.
Speaking of poetry, should we end on the burning question that was submitted
Why
by
why
Oh,
people
boy.
have been watching.
Literally
Yeah, the entire time.
100%.
Exactly.
I think we've texted
Oh, about
ourselves.
Sam,
yeah,
right? And about,
Fan favorite, standout NPC, stole the show. Brennan, is
Oh,
Bolo
Bolo,
okay?
Bolo,
What?
Bolo.
Stole the show.
I thought it was going to be about Sam's
Brennan,
speech, but we already talked about
Is
that.
Bolo okay?
Is Bolo
What
okay?
happened to Bolo from Aor?
I don't like her. I don't like her.
Bria, you're
You
tripping,
know,
all right? Or
you
that's
know,
more like later talking.
sometimes a PC will gift you with an NPC, and sometimes a PC will gift another PC with an NPC. Sometimes Bria will say, "Did you have a +1?" And Sam will go, "That absolutely
Sure.
makes sense." Sure. And then what'll happen is
I
that
said that'd be no problem.
And then what'll happen is that PC will, name that NPC. And sometimes they'll just reach down into the top hat and see if a rabbit comes out, and a rabbit doesn't come out. What comes out is Bolo. Named Bolo. And then what you get to do is conscript Matt Mercer into doing Slavic accents for any Aeorians.
Yes! Canon accepted.
My name is.
I don't know why in that moment, but I had to, we were improvising it, and there you go, and that's Bolo. Bolo's dead.
Yes! I love you, Dino!
But not the way you think.
Or not the way you think. She dies 12 hours later because she gets hit by a wagon. No. She teleports.
Which one is it?
Which one is it? No. Or Bolo is an incredibly dangerous Aeorian spy who goes into Avalier during the chaos and finds a necessary piece of arcanotech for Aeor's later work with all of the shady things that we know that they were working on.
Absolutely.
Right?
Threshold crest.
Threshold crest, Godhammer, anything, right? Or there's also a world where maybe Bolo was a polymorph dragon and she just flew away.
What?
Who was this bitch?
She was
Nah, if she was a dragon, that would be crazy.
Eventually.
This
Crazy.
your house is the most.
And it's so funny how we're
This
going
your-
on to season 3 as of the time of this video anyways, of the Legend of Vox Machina show, with all these dragons. Bro, if Bolo is an Easter egg in this, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Not a question, not a
I
statement.
can't imagine
Just words.
She can't be a polymorph dragon. She
not?
couldn't be.
Why not?
She doesn't know how to ask. She doesn't know how to get a beer from a Hadmadar.
Not all
How
dragons.
many
no.
beers are dragons out here grabbing?
I don't know. Hundreds?
Beer dragons just rolling up to the bar. Excuse me, might I have a pint of ale? No, everything. If you actually kind of think about it, the dragon theory kind of makes a lot of sense.
Stop it.
There's kind of a part of it that makes a lot of sense if you start to think
builds.
about it.
It
You know what I'm
builds.
saying? Because she doesn't know how to get drinks. She wants to be a reporter eventually. Those are all the things we know about Bolo.
Reno's Groupon. Was she a dragon?
Yeah, did Chirinos Groupon make an inside check on Bolo? Didn't you follow her to the
I think I
drinks?
was so stunned by Bola's inherent beauty and strange personality that I didn't use my one feet that would have seen any illusions.
Of course.
Was a dragon.
Sam, you were fucking a dragon.
Hey, man,
No,
let me be
no, that's
clear.
hot.
I will happily allow that. You just put that on the
These
wall.
draconic sorcerers have to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
That's crazy,
That's
bro.
how
That's
the
crazy.
The dragonborn race was born.
yeah, there you go.
Too bad.
We remember back our progenitor, Bolo.
Oh, Bolo was the progenitor, huh? Bolo and Loquacious.
well,
Well,
Dragon fucking. Thanks, folks.
yeah.
What a way to end it.
Bolo.
What a way to end it.
No.
Long may she reign. Thank you guys so much for doing this. This was truly the most special.
Thank
I
you
also
for
want to give a
doing
quick
this.
shout out to our production crew.
As I say all the time, clap it up.
There were so many amazing little points of genius that I hope people have pointed out on, from everything from the graphics.
The overlay.
The overlay, yeah. I saw a few people notice it.
wild detail.
Yeah, over time the overlay was slowly degrading and cracking, and
Oh, that's
little
so
Easter
interesting. I didn't even
eggs,
notice
all
that.
the incredible art
See,
that
little
we had
things,
done,
dude.
just across the board. Wanted to shout out from everyone from top to bottom. It really felt like just such. Everyone was on their A game. And not just the people who are sitting here in front of the camera, but all the people behind the camera as well. So it was absolutely incredible. We could say this is the end, but Is it?
Yeah, we died.
It doesn't really
No,
feel
it's not. It's not.
we're done.
It's not. I don't think it's the end because again, it's hope returns, right?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
You say she's
Come
come
the
back?
matron of ravens.
Oh,
I have so
Marcella.
many other questions.
Calamity is
So much
here.
more to
True.
explore.
Yeah.
Calamity is not here forever.
No.
Wait, so we all lived through it? We're fine?
Yes.
No, okay, so 5 of you are fucking dead, and that's what the dice said. Okay?
Bolo's alive.
Bolo is 100% alive, unless she was dead the whole time. She's undead.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking necromancers. Always so
Oh,
dramatic.
so dramatic.
Thank you guys so
I like the
much.
little callback
Thank you
to,
everyone watching at
like
home.
Krisha.
We love you. And is it Thursday?
Yay!
Yay!
My. All right, guys. So that was my reaction to the last little part of the Calamity wrap up. If you made it this far, please leave your boy a like, maybe subscribe, and if you're a subscriber, become a channel member for $1. What are you doing? Just $1. And honestly, it's just a great way to help support me and help me dedicate a little bit more time to doing this stuff. So I would greatly appreciate it. But either way, thank you for watching. I'm about to get into my thoughts. So if you're interested in that, here we go. As I've stated in the last 2 parts, and as I continue to state in this part, Calamity was a masterclass. Everybody did such a good job. Everybody. And there's so much to appreciate from this mini campaign. This mini campaign for me personally is always going to have a special little place in my heart because it's the first campaign that I've technically finished. And what a way to start off that little tradition that I will most certainly be having. But what a way to kick it off with something that was just so well done with these characters, man. It's like I said, it's very difficult to be able to improv things on your own. And all of these people did that. All of these people stood in character and they dedicated their actions to how the character themselves would act, not necessarily the actor. And not only that, but to be able to have all these people come together and to be able to bounce off of each other so well and have such great chemistry, for Brennan to be such a great, GM, DM, giving a lot of freedom, but not too much freedom, helping to guide things and manipulate things, as we discussed, in such an amazing way, to make us, all laugh, cry, and ultimately come out of this with like our jaws dropped at the end of this campaign was honestly just so good. I was at the edge of my seat from start to finish. I was truly just locked in, captivated, enthralled in this whole thing as I watched it. And truly to everybody, Luis, Marisha, Sam, Lou, I almost said Luis again. Lou, Travis, Brennan. Did I get everybody? Hold on. Abria, Marisha, Travis, Brennan, Sam, Lou, Luis. Yes, I got everybody. Yeah, fantastic job. And as they said at the end there, again, a lot of credit to the cast and crew that we don't see, that did little details like the graphic that I didn't even notice, but I'm going to look back and see if I can tell what they're talking about. No, everybody just did a great job. And as always, guys, just support the original work that these guys do. I always do. But they really worked hard, and this stuff is not easy. And I can appreciate it even more because I know how difficult this stuff can be, and really put myself in their shoes. They honestly did a great job. So just, continue to support them. I know you don't need me to tell you, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. And if there's anything that I missed, anything that, as always, you guys want to add, just for each other in the comments or for me, whatever the case may be, feel free to do so. Like I said, support your boy, leave a like, subscribe and join the channel, become a member. And that's about it, man. Bravo, fantastic job to everybody. I couldn't have predicted that this would be as good of a campaign as it was, and to get the amount of support that I've gotten off of just the Exandria Unlimited since I started reacting to the Calamity by itself has been tremendous and continues to be tremendous, and I appreciate all of you. And I hope to see you all very soon. As I've stated, got a lot more stuff coming on this channel, and stay tuned for that. And yeah, until then, guys, thank you guys for being patient, working with your boy, supporting your boy. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.